systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? Back with my guy Ham, like we are each and every Friday. We got a massive 12-game slate. We got Coors Field. We got a bunch of jabronis on the mound that everybody wants to click and play because of their salaries. Should be a fun slate to break it all down here. Unfortunately, my Brewers are not on the slate because they just continue to be free money, betting, DFS, anything. Just stack them up always, regardless of what their ownership is. And well, you probably have a pretty decent night there. But hey, Ham, how's your week been? Happy Friday, man. We got a fun slate ahead of us.
Happy Friday. We made it. You said jabroni, and instantly Jock Jams came to my mind. 2.3 on FanDuel. Goodness gracious alive. Hey, if he hits a home run off the Basset Hound, Nades, we're giving away free tickets next Friday, but that's not going to happen. That guy stinks. The pitchers on tonight's slate stink, but hey, we're here to break it all down. Find some winners, unlock some more winners over here at the Nation.
Yeah, big weekend ahead for baseball. Shout out to our guy Sheets. More to come on him, but he's in the FanDuel final this weekend. Our guy Rio, Hebrew Cheetah, the blazing cheetah that's always at the top of the leaderboard that you're trying to catch down. Pretty tough to do many times. He's out there in the live final for DraftKings. Our guy Kenny is out there at the live final for DraftKings. And I'm sure many others out there as well. So if you guys are, good luck this weekend in the live finals or the online final over at FanDuel. Say hi to a couple of people. Michael W. in here. Woody, Juice, William, Cam the Man, Jake Swales, I am Rice. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. We'll jump in and talk some promos when some more people do trickle in here. But yeah, Ham. I brought the dry run up. We kind of talked about it off the top here. I'm going to jump over and share the screen here. Our partner, SaberSim. Let me go ahead and just enlarge this real quick here. And I ran 150 teams as a dry run, kind of like you would in tournaments, allowing only 5-2, 5-3, and 4-3 stacks in there just to kind of get an idea of where the field is going to go. Filtered it by strictly projected score, which is kind of the cashier route, if you will. Obviously, tournaments and things like that, projections don't really mean a ton in baseball. However, I like to get an idea of where the field is kind of going. And you look at it right here. It's Valdez, it's Jack Perkins, and it's Joe Boyle. The reason being is Perkins is 5,900, Joe Boyle's 5,400, and you have a 7 implied run total for the D-backs with some high-priced 6K plus bats in Coors Field with over a 12 total in that game. You have some other teams like the Yankees who have some high-priced bats on the slate. You have a massive total out in Sacramento as well with some high-priced players on the slate. So there's definitely spend-up bats to be had on the slate. That's the reason you see Boyle and Perkins popping in projections there overall. And not only that, you look at the rest of the slate. I mean, we got guys like freaking Palante on the hill. We got Savale. We got a bullpen game from the Twins. I mean, we got Iglesias, Brandon Fa, Giolito. I mean, Luis Gil making his third start. Overall, it's just not a good pitching slate outside of two big-name arms at the top in DeGrom and Valdez there. More to come on them. But any broad slate overviews for you before we kind of jump in here and talk pitching by tiers, 8K and above, and then 8K and below? Any broad slate overview from you?
My guy Cam the Man, Jock Jams 5 or 8 versus Chris Basset Hound. We'll see tonight, but yeah, you said it best, right? We're going to have to navigate the waters tonight. Find us 2 good pitchers that put up, I don't know, Nades, what are you thinking? 35 DraftKings points, 40 DraftKings points between the two gets you, close to the winner's circle if you get the right bats. But it's going to be tough sledding. We don't really like the guys at the top, Valdez and DeGrom, both in tough matchups. So. Yeah, I think we're going to navigate those waters first and foremost.
Yeah, I think pitching is pretty gross, to be honest. I think it is a spread out pitching slate. And then on offense, I kind of am condensed around a couple offenses. You can definitely spread it out too. There's a lot of good offensive spots when the pitching is kind of as weak as it is overall. But again, I'd rather spread it out more at pitcher and be condensed on 2 or 3 4 offenses that I like and just take my chances that route than going the other way. Usually we're kind of more condensed in the pitching, spread it out on offense. I think it's flip-flopped here tonight. There's a lot of offenses you can play in decent matchups there, but there's some that are far and away ahead of the pack, in my opinion, there. So, like I said, in terms of dry run, it's Valdez 34%, Perkins 36, 37%, Boyle at 65% there. And then you click over on the team stacks, no surprise, right? You got Coors Field, 23% Rocky stacks, 95% D-back stacks, which makes sense, right? Because it allows you to play Valdez and one of Boyle or Perkins, 5 stack the D-backs with their 7 implied run total against that starting pitcher there for the Rockies who has no business starting for a major league roster. And then you got that shitty bullpen behind them as well in 90-degree temperatures out there in Coors Field. So that's enough on the dry run here. Let me flip this over to salary and break it down 8K and above. You got Joey Cantillo down at the bottom for Cleveland. Charlie Morton, Bassett Hound there. Giolito, Castillo, Kikuchi, Pablo Lopez. Let me uncheck him. I don't know why he's showing up there. He is not he's not pitching. Noah Camara, Jacob deGrom, and Framber Valdez. What's your breakdown here, 8K and above?
Yeah, I'm gonna start with Chris Bassett. He's my favorite pitcher on the slate. All things considered, price and whatnot. We got the big bats in Denver tonight we want to play. But you look at this Rangers team striking out 23% over the last 30 days versus righties. Only hit 19 homers in that span, 655 plate appearances. Bad OPS, bad ISO. Bassett at home should have some run support, in my opinion, against DeGrom. 2-3 runs. When I say run support, 2-3 runs should be enough run support is what I should have said. Against DeGrom, I think they can muster that out. So Chris Bassett, he's my SP1 on the slate. Number 2 for me would be Framber Valdez. Once again, we get him at home. The Orioles have been rather good against lefties over the last 30 days. One of the best teams in the majors actually against lefties. But I'll take my chances with an extreme ground ball pitcher at home against this Orioles team that, for all intents and purposes, just playing out the string. So I would have Framber right behind Bassett at number 2. Number 3 for me, I don't love the upside of Jacob deGrom, but he's still Jacob deGrom. You said it pre-show, and I agree with you. Blue Jays just don't strike out a whole ton. So you're hoping deGrom does give up those, 1 to 3 runs, strikes out 4 to 5, goes 7 innings, and get you some points there. And then I don't necessarily love Charlie Morton either, right? The ageless wonder, Charlie Morton, still throwing that curveball. Gets to take on this Twins team we picked on the last couple of weeks as they sold off the farm. But going into Minnesota, everybody was all over Scuba last night, and he failed miserably. So he would be, I guess, number 4 for me just by guilty by association. And then Nades, the rest of the guys in this list, I can make a case not to play any of them. Interested to see what you think about those guys. But it's really 4 guys in this 8K and above range for me.
Yeah, so I'll start 8K and above. My favorite pitcher up here is going to be Framber Valdez, just due to the nature of the slate. I mean, he's got that best K prop on the slate with juice on the over, 6.5, heavy juice on the, not heavy juice, but pretty decent juice, -115 on the over there against Baltimore. He's a ground ball guy, should be fine there. So I like him at home. It's a good pitcher's ballpark there. Not a good place to hit in general. So for me, it's Valdez over DeGrom if picking one of the two. DeGrom, I'm a little bit worried about DeGrom here. Toronto has been the best team in baseball over the last 30 days against right-handed pitching. I get it. DeGrom is in a different tier of kind of the standard right-handed right-hander pitchers out there. He always has elite strikeout stuff. But you look at the Blue Jays lineup, they lead all of baseball in OPS over the last 30 days. They have a 16.8% K rate over that stretch. And at 10-3, with ownership that really doesn't matter. I mean, it's not like Valdez is going to be 40, 50% owned compared to DeGrom being 10 to 12% owned. It's going to be pretty similar there. So for me, it's Valdez over DeGrom for me if picking one there. Noah Cameron, I'm not playing Noah Cameron here at 9,300 against the White Sox. White Sox actually been pretty decent against left-handed pitching, top 10 in all of baseball over the last month against lefties there. So for me, I'm out on Noah Cameron there at 9,300. It's just the nature of the slate is I want high-powered offenses, high-powered bats, and when I'm kind of splitting hairs here, I mean, I don't really want to pay up for guys that I think have just as equally likelihood to score the same amount of points as guys in that lower 7K range and even down into that 5K range, which we'll talk about later there. I'll hit on Kikuchi. Kikuchi, you know what he's going to get. He's going to go 95 to 100-plus pitches out there. He's always a boom-bust option in tournaments, so I always leave him in the field. You can always stack against him as well there, but gets this matchup against the A's. There is some struggle there, and there's some power in that lineup, but there's also strikeouts there. You look at Kikuchi here, has a decent strikeout prop in general, one of the better ones on the slate. Juice on the over of 5.5, juice on the under at 6.5, but 6.5 is his K prop. Like I said, slight juice on the under there. So right in line with a guy like Framber Valdez for 8,800. So I like both sides of the Kikuchi matchup there. I think he makes my pool for sure. I'm out on Castillo. I'm not playing Castillo. Giolito, I think at 8,500 would be interesting, but I like I think playing the two guys below him, Chris Bassett and Charlie Morton. I'm with you on Chris Bassett. Lefties can get to him a little bit, and there's some good lefties in that lineup overall. Guys like Corey Seager, Josh Smith have some power in there. Evan Carter are decent, but I mean, outside of that, I think you look at his splits at home. I mean, he has a sub-3 ERA at home. He has an over 6 ERA on the road. Some of the most extreme splits in all of baseball here. He's at home, 7.5 total in this game. It's a decent place to pitch in general. I think he should have some run support. I think he could have some run support. Like I said, I think Toronto could get to DeGrom a little bit and even to that bullpen. So at 8,400 sub 5% ownership, I think taking a chance on Chris Bassett for me is my preferred guy, kind of in that mid 8K range. I think people will jump on Charlie Morton there. I'm a little bit worried about Charlie Morton. He's come off a couple of good starts in general, got traded from Baltimore, headed over to Detroit, got a new scenery. I just don't think Charlie Morton's very good personally, and he's going to face quite a bit of lefties here overall where, yeah, he does have some strikeout stuff, but overall, last 30 days, this dude has allowed a ton of power. And you look at the last 30 days against right-handed pitching for the Twins, 216 ISO with just a 23% K rate. So for me, it's Bassett over Charlie Morton. So don't really love Charlie Morton. The wild card for me is Joey Cantillo. The reason being is I think his matchup's pretty decent. I don't think this Braves team is very good. I've been streamlining pitchers against this team all year. You look at his K prop, 5.5, right in line with these other guys. 4.5 has heavy juice on the over, 5.5, so slight juice on the under. So 4.5, 5.5 K prop. That's right in line with guys like Framber Valdez, Kikuchi, who we already talked about there. DeGrom. I mean, DeGrom's at 5.5, some slight juice on the over there. So he's right in line with the rest of them. So for me, it's these four guys in the top 8K and above. It's Framber, Kikuchi, Bassett, and Cantillo. Fifth being DeGrom, but I don't like DeGrom as much as I like the other guys in the slate. So I will uncheck him just to kind of simplify it as much as possible. Now is where kind of the meat and potatoes come in here, Ham. Below 8K, there's a lot of arms you can play down here. I'll throw out a couple names. Number one, Sean Manaea. Number two, Luis Gil. I think he's going to pick up some ownership. And then I want you to talk about the three guys at the bottom, Sandy Alcantara, Jack Perkins, and Joe Boyle. Those are kind of the guys getting ownership. And then any of these other guys in between them that you see are kind of grayed out, didn't really hit the projection run, which naturally make them a little bit better tournament plays, in my opinion here. Guys like Hurston Waldrep, I think, are pretty interesting there. But break down below 8K, I think there's a lot of arms down here that you can definitely play. And again, I think overall it's a pretty spend down at pitcher slate for me outside of a guy like Framber.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty gross down here too. But Jack Perkins kind of makes the cut for me, Nades, 5,900. Obviously, we hate the ballpark, but we do love the strikeout upside that he has. And we know this Angels team strikes out in droves. He's the one that won me 20K last Saturday night, gave up a 3-run ding dong to Gunner in the first inning, then ended up settling down and shipping for me. So Jack Perkins at 5,900, I think is a great spot tonight, even in that bad ballpark. Alcantara, no thank you. Not against the Bo Sox. I don't pick on the Bo Sox in that small park. Sai Savale, been pitching better, but not going there either. Not going your boy P-Fod or whatever you say his name is in Colorado. Hill, for me, he's scary, Nades. I think this is his only second start. But
third Third start, I believe.
First start, okay. I mean, and I know it's a limited sample, but he struggled against striking out lefties. I think he's right around 15%. It looks like they're throwing out, 4 lefties? So actually, that's not terrible. So Hill is actually a decent play, getting to face 5 righties. So I like him a little bit. No Manai for me. That guy just is not any good. I did see Josh Naylor, a lefty, is going to be out. So I'm assuming they're going to add another right-handed bat too. And then Landon Roop, you and I talked about him. I would love Landon. He's coming off a 20-day hiatus with an elbow. If someone has seen a pitch count for him out there, I'd love to see it. But I think Landon Roop in that ballpark that we love, Tampa, we want to pick on them away from the Trop 2.0, the AAA park. So Landon Roop, if he's going to throw 80 pitches, I'm just not so sure with those Giants that they're going to let him go that far.
Yeah, I mean, Saber has him at mid-60s, so that's just a tough click for me. I really wanted to play him, but I just can't. Coming off the IL, first start off the IL, it's just Tampa's been just absolutely atrocious. Bottom 5 in all of baseball and OPS against the handedness here. It's the worst ballpark, one of the worst ballparks in baseball. At 7,600, it's a price point, and I just don't think he's got the leash there. I think maybe 3 or 4 innings is kind of his ceiling there. 60, mid-60s in terms of pitch count. I just don't think he can do enough there. So ideally, I wanted to play him. Yeah, so 50. So I'm assuming mid-60s, 60 to 65 pitches, I would assume, if he threw 50 in his rehab start. So that's enough to take him out of the pool for me. I'm out on Kershaw. I'm not playing Kershaw in 2025, so I'm out on him and his 13% K rate. Not for me against the Padres, who just don't strike out in general. Manaea, we definitely differ on Manaea. I like Sean Manaea a lot. His K prop is good, 5.5 juice on the over. You look at him over the last between this year and last year, 25% K rate, more to the left side than the right side there. Just doesn't allow a ton of power, keeps the ball on the ground to the lefties overall. You look at the last month, really keeps the ball on the ground to lefties, doesn't even really allow a ton of fly balls from the right side. So for me, I like Sean Manaea quite a bit. I get it. The Mets are a scary offense there. Or not the Mets, excuse me. The Mariners there are a pretty scary offense in general. But again, I just think the K prop's good. The pitching slate is gross. And there's a lot of strikeouts in this Mariners lineup. I mean, look at Cal Raleigh, 33%. Suarez, 30%. Naylor, if he's in there, 23%. Mitch Garver, 30%. Dylan Moore, 31%. So I think Sean Manaea is a pretty interesting play overall. Should be right in that mid-teens in terms of ownership. 7,900, good K prop. Pitch count should be 85 to 90 pitches there. So for me, Sean Manaea makes the pool. I'd rather play him over Luis Gil. I'll talk about Luis Gil when we get to the bats side of things. I'll talk about some of those lefties for the Cardinals there. Gil is just absolutely atrocious against lefties. So for me, I'm out on Gil. I'm out on Palante. I'm out on Brandon Pfaadt. I'm out on Savali. I'm not playing Randy Vasquez and his strikeout rate that's lower than Hamwich coming off the IL. I mean, Ham, you could go out there and strike out more guys than Randy Vasquez, so I'm not playing him. Sandy Alcantara, I'm not playing him. He might give up 10 stolen bases to Jarren Duran himself. Not playing Brandon Young, not playing Urena. He's the worst pitcher in baseball. I'm not playing any of these guys. So for me, this is what my pitching pool looks like. I think Waldrep is an interesting tournament option. Nobody's going to play him. This Cleveland team has, again, I mean, I like pitchers in this Cleveland game. Both sides both of these offenses have not been very good. I think Waldrep is fine. He should throw close to 90 pitches. I don't hate pairing up pitchers in that game, going Cantillo, Waldrep. You're completely off the board. Their projections are right in line with the rest of the slate. Their ownership is both going to be sub 10%. And I'll take my chances attacking the Braves and attacking the Guardians. So for me, this is kind of what my pitching pool looks like. Sean Manaea, my favorite guy in kind of that 8K and upper 7K range. And then I like Jack Perkins more than Joe Boyle, but both of them do make my pool. 5,400, 5,900. You can play one of them, play Framber, play one of these guys like a Manaea, a Cantillo, a Bassett, and you can do whatever you want in terms of offense. So for me, this is kind of what my pitching pool looks like. I got 7 guys in my pool. You can definitely spread it out a lot more than me. But again, I'm trying to make some cuts in single entry through max stuff. This is kind of where I would be sitting overall. Any additional takes from the pitcher breakdown, Ham?
My God, Pojen Degen Stoner, man. He said, "Where hockey dude shaved his porn stash." Come on, Big Nate. You can't be shaving that Pojen, man. I've missed you. I haven't seen you in a while. There's no telling where you are. Your bong rip season out there and wherever Colorado that you are. Welcome back. Jake likes Hurston. You kind of touched on him. I kind of missed him. So sorry, Jake. He's had back-to-back good games. But no, I think we talked pitching pretty good. The more we talk about it, though, I mean, Jack Perkins at 5,900 nades, a guy that's going to throw 85 pitches, man, that's a tough one not to click. Yeah, I think Sean Manaea, probably the worst play on the slate. That's the official worst play on the slate, Sean Manaea.
All right, what do you want for what do you want for what do you want? I mean, I think Sean Manaea is a good play here. Personally, my thoughts, but let me know. It's a good pitcher's ballpark there in Citi Field. I'll take my chances on Sean Manaea with 5.5K prop juice on the over there. Guys in Vegas that are setting those lines are much smarter than I am. Overall, I'll take my chances with Sean Manaea there against a strikeout happy Mariners team. Yeah, they have a lot of power, but again, Manaea doesn't give up a ton of power there. So let me know. Think of someone you want to put up against Sean Manaea there, and I will take Sean Manaea. Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's not on this slate there, but all right, that's enough jibber jabber about the pitchers here. Let's talk about the real side of this slate in terms of the offense. First game on the slate, we are up in the Rogers Center, up in Toronto. Basset Hound on the mound, Jacob deGrom on the hill. I could see a pitcher's duo in this game. I will say some of the lefties you could pick off for the Rangers: Josh Smith, Corey Seager, Jock Peterson. Throw him out. He's not doing anything, so don't click his name. But Evan Carter, Seager, and Josh Smith. Rowdy Tellez, I think, is interesting too. So I like the lefties not named Jock Jams. What's your breakdown here? Blue Jays and the Rangers, one of the lowest totals on the slate. However, like I said, Blue Jays, one of the hottest teams in baseball.
Yeah, for me, this game's more of a cross-off. I have a ton of interest in Bassett at home. You see there, 26% strikeout rate. Neither one of us love DeGrom, but he's still Jacob deGrom on a slate that's not very good on pitching. So I'm going to pick on a pitcher that's not as good as him. So this is the classic 3-1 type game, in my opinion, Nades. So I'm passing on all the bats here.
Yeah, I think the Rangers lefties are pretty interesting. Just they're going to be unowned. They're pretty affordable. Corey Seager, 4,700 is pretty cheap overall. But yeah, I'm definitely more on the side of team pitching in this one than offense. Overall, both have good bullpens. Texas has a decent bullpen. Blue Jays both are bottom or top half of the league. Rangers are top 10 over the last month as well for bullpen in general there. Next game on the slate, Braves and the Guardians. I liked pitchers in this one here in general. I think Hurston Waldrop's a really good tournament option overall. We have him ranked as our fourth best pitching option. We don't have Cantillo ranked as high here. The Braves have been hitting the baseball a little bit in general there. If I had to pick a side, I'd much more be on the Braves side of this one in general. But again, this is another spot where I just don't love it. I will say, the Cleveland bullpen has been good. The Braves bullpen is not good. So take that for what it's worth. Any offense in this one?
Yeah. I think it was Jake said that the Braves offense is heating up, and they put up, I think, 12 runs one night against the Mets. Ozuna went yard twice, little lefty righty. I think the Braves minis, I don't mind. I think you can even throw Matt Olson in there. You see what he's done against left-handed pitching on the road this season. And then I'm not playing any Guardians. It's tough to stack them, in my opinion. Now, if you wanted to get Jose Ramirez, you know what shocks me, Nades, is how many stolen bases Jose Ramirez gets. That dude's like a butterball, and he's just out there swiping bags left and right. I get a notification every night, I feel like. So Jose's always a good play. He's a great player. But how's he stealing so many bases? I don't know. But it's Braves minis and not stacking these Guardians.
Well, when you figure that out, let me know how Josh Naylor steals as many bases as he does. Because that dude, you talk about butterball, that dude is literally KFC fried chicken in a bucket. And he's out there swiping second base to try and grab that gravy to dip that chicken in. So I mean, overall, it's interesting. Braves get Ronald Acuna back, who obviously mashes left-handed pitching. However, you look at Cantillo, he is actually, I mean, his strikeout rate is 28% against both sides of the plate between this year and last year in 441 plate appearances. Last 30 days, he has almost a 30% K rate against righties there. So I think he's pretty interesting, like I talked about. Yeah, he could give up some power here and could walk some of the lefties, which leads to some issues in general. But for me, it's, again, I don't love offense much in this game. Acuna, Ozuna would be my two favorite bats from the Braves side of things, but it's not a spot where I really like offense in this one, which is pretty interesting to say overall with two guys that don't have a ton of name recognition overall from the pitcher aspect. Next game on the slate, one of my favorite spots on the slate. We are going into Fenway. Giolito on the hill, Sandy Alcantara on the hill. I mean, I don't think Sandy's very good. Miami bullpen is not good. Giolito's not great, but I think he's decent enough. I don't like the Marlins that much, but Kyle Stowers always fits the script. Out of Lopez. Some of these cheap Marlins are interesting, but the real interest in this one is definitely on the Red Sox side of things. One of my favorite stacks on the slate. Break it down for me.
Yeah, I agree with you on 50% of this. I think the Red Sox are great plays. And Anthony went off the other night in Houston. Bregman hit 2 bombs. You talked about the stolen bases Alcantara gives up. So Duran's a great spot once he gets on. The thing I like about this Red Sox team is like up and down this lineup, like Toro can go yard, Rafaela can go yard. I mean, pretty much 1 through 8 that you see here, I really like. I think I'm different than you. I like these Marlins. I was looking at their ownership on our site. If they could stay unowned or sub 10%. I mean, Stowers, the X-Man, Ramirez in this small park, 27 outs. Giolito can't strike anybody out. I think this Marlins team is a great spot up there in Chowder City. We're going to get some of those fish flying around with the chowder. Give me this game. I like the game to go over the posted total, and I like both offenses tonight.
Yeah, I think the Marlins are fine as one-offs. I mean, Marcy hits right-handed pitching really good. He's pretty cheap overall. Kyle Stowers obviously murders. Graham Pauley at a weak third base position in general. Hits the ball in the air, has some power against righties. Giolito struggles with some fly balls overall. He just doesn't – I mean, you want lefties against Giolito, so I would only focus really on the lefties, Marcy, Stowers, Pauley. Liam Hicks, if you want a punt catcher there, but I think there's better catchers on the slate than him. So for me, it's really just Paulie, Stowers, and Marcy on the Bo Sox side. I mean, I love them up and down the lineup, 1 through 9, firmly in play. You look at stolen bases. I mean, Sandy Alcantara, 28 stolen bases given up the last 2 seasons, .231. Pretty much 1 in 4 base runners has the opportunity to steal per inning pitched for Sandy Alcantara. Duran, Rafaela, Trevor Story, Romy Gonzalez, Abreu, and even Toro, all will run. They all hit righties good. I mean, I think this is a really, really good spot for Red Sox. They're all going to be sub 5% owned. I think this is one of the best spots on the entire slate for me. Next game on the slate, Mets and the Mariners. You have to be loading up the wagon on these Mariners because you said Sean Manaea is the worst play on the slate when we're talking about guys that really I never would have thought I would have ever mentioned on a baseball show before this show came about in the slate. But talk to me. Any Mariners, any Mets for you here?
Yeah, love the Mariners. They strike out a bunch. This will be updated as Josh Naylor has been scratched. I'll also give a home run call, but I'll save it till the end because I got 2 guarantees in life. And then the Mets, no Mets for me. Castillo's a decent real-life pitcher, doesn't have the strikeouts that he once had, and this Mets team just refuses to strike out at home. I don't think the Mets are a crazy stack, Nate. Interested to hear your take, but I think I'm going to pass on them as a full stack. They're just too expensive.
Yeah, I'm just passing on this ballpark. There's a lot better ballparks on this. I mean, you look at the bullpens here. Mets have a pretty decent bullpen, top half of the league. You look at Seattle; they've been actually really, really good, top 10 in baseball over the last month in terms of overall bullpen. Castillo, not a great strikeout arm in general, so there will be balls in play. You could lean to some of these Mets, but again, they're all super expensive. I mean, the cheap guys, Jeff McNeil, you don't really want to play him. I will say Seti Mullins At 3,700, that's pretty cheap for him. I don't think Alvarez is going to go out there and hit 2 home runs again. Lightning doesn't strike twice usually, too frequently there. So for me, this is more a pass spot and Shamanaya spot for me. I'm not playing any of these Mariners in the shitty ballpark. Next game on the slate, Astros and the Orioles. Brandon Young on the mound. Our guy in the chat, Avery, talking about Brandon Young splits. These Astros seem pretty interesting for him. Talk to me. Any interest in this game? Astros do have over a 5 implied run total on this one. And you look at the O's bullpen, and it is the definition of not very good in general. I don't think any O's for me. A lot of blood red in the water there. You look at Framber, a lot of green. Usually green means go, red means stop. I'm stopping from the Orioles here tonight.
Yeah, Avery joined us last time. I think it was last week for the first time. So welcome back. And I agree with you. But the problem is I think everybody's going to agree with you that BY, not a very good pitcher. These Stros will be popular and for good reason. One, as you can see there, the first 4 batters just refused to strike out. So Pena is a good play, went bomb the other night. Altuve is always a good play. Correa is a good play. I think these Astros are probably coming in top 3 stack nades. Well, I guess not when you have course.
Ownership doesn't matter. Anything but the D-backs are going to be low owned. Realistically, just because in the way the slate sets up, we're going to see absurd ownership on the Arizona team because the way the pitching slate sets up. So really any team, all these Astros are going to be sub 10% owned.
People paying down for pitching and up for bats. But goodness gracious, those Orioles, we talked a little bit about, we like those Orioles because they've been so good, but their projections are just terrible nades. So I'm gonna trust our Stone, man. I'm not playing any of those Orioles, not against Framber. It makes me like Framber a little more than maybe I did earlier. You can see what he's done at home this season, pretty good. So yeah, fire up the Astros, fire up Framber, then shut down all the O's, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the Stros are pretty interesting here. You look at Brandon Young. Just doesn't have a lot of strikeout ability. Allows a ton of power. Allows fly balls. You look at last 30 days. Breaking it down further, 83 plate appearances. He's got a 169 ISO allowed in general, but that's because he allows. He's very reverse splitsy over the last month. Looking at it, and I think that's what Avery was talking about here. 13% walk rate to righties, a 22% strikeout rate, but a 231 ISO allowed with a fly ball rate over 30% or right around 30% there. Guys like Urias, Christian Walker, Yainer Diaz, I think all make some sense there. Altuve, I think, is fine. Overall, I think this is an interesting spot. The only issue is the Astros just don't hit the ball in the air. The best play from the Astros from a metrics and a number standpoint is going to be Ramon Urias at a third base position there if he cracks the lineup. So he's my favorite guy. Don't love it that much, but again, I think this is a sneakier stack for an affordable stack as well, that I think you could get away with avoiding the punt pitchers and just hope that, hey, those pitchers down there are very boom bust. We're playing them for their boom ability at a low price point. Maybe you flip the build and you go like an Astros 5-man stack that it's a bad bullpen behind Brandon Young, who has been really reverse splitsy, and you flip the build and you go like a Framber and you go maybe a DeGrom, or you go one of those other guys up in that upper or mid 8K range, like a Bassett and a Framber combo. Pair 5 Astros up with Framber and play it that way. So I think that's an interesting point. No Orioles for me, not in this spot.
Wait a minute, Nades. Question. Yeah. Did you just make up a word and say boom ability?
No. I said boom or bust.
Oh, I thought you said boom ability.
Yeah, probability and boom percentage, boom ability. Hey, there we go. That's a new term there. What's the boom ability of the Astros scoring 5+ runs here tonight? I think it's better than the Orioles scoring over 3. So I'll take my chances there. But next game on the slate, we're going to Kauffman Stadium here. Aaron Savali on the hill, Noah Cameron on the hill. Noah Cameron's kind of slept on overall in terms of a pitcher. He's a decent DFS option. He's our second-ranked pitcher. That's enough to take me off some of these White Sox stacks, even as good as they have been over the course of the season, especially over the last month or so against left-handed pitching in general. I will say the Royals bullpen, not very good. The White Sox bullpen, not very good. I don't think Savali's very good. I think he's pitched way over his head the last month. I like these Royals quite a bit here. They're going to be pretty low on decent overall. The last month, the Royals have just been absolute murder in the baseball here. I don't think Savali is very good in general. You want to start with the lefties, Yastrzemski, Pasquantino, and then, add in Bobby Witt, Salvi Perez, who's been on a tear at 4,100. I think the Royals are pretty interesting overall in this spot. Again, going to be pretty low on due to the Coors Field. What's your take in this one?
Yeah, you said it. The shot stocks have been pretty good against lefties. So the Vargases of the world, the Roberts of the world, Lane Sosas of the world. Your boy, he's not. Oh no, there he is, Colson Montgomery. He's in there, down there in the 8 hole. And then Sai Savali, man, he's been balling this year. Not balling, but he's been better than we anticipated. I'll say that, not balling, but yeah, I'm with you on these Royals. I think they should be in play tonight. Big bad Bobby Witt. Bobby, what do you call him? Bobby Slams is what you call him. He's going to be popular per usual. Even at $6K price tag, more of a one-off that you'll play him. Jonathan India down there in that 7 hole, he can't be liking that. He went yard the other night. So Kyle Isbell steals bases. I think 1 through 9 Nades. I kind of like this Royals team.
Yeah, I like this Royals team a lot. You look at them over the last month. They just don't strike out. 15% K rate against right-handed pitching over the last month. Perez smashing, Pasquantino smashing, Garcia, Bobby Witt, Yastrzemski. So I think the Royals are pretty interesting overall. And then, again, you got a pretty bad bullpen behind him as well. So I'm in on the Royals. It's also a good place to hit here tonight in Kauffman Stadium. Hot and humid. Some slight wind blowing out as well, which definitely helps the cause. Next game on the slate, Tigers and the Twins. Bullpen game from the Twins coming up here. However, this is one of my top stacks on the slate here for the Tigers. And then Charlie Morton, you want lefties against him. Morton's going to get some ownership in terms of pitching. You see there, he doesn't rank very well for us. Some of the top half of this Twins lineup ranks pretty good overall. Decent total in this one. What's your breakdown in Minnesota here?
Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted on this. The Twins lineup has come out since we've been on the show. So that lineup, I think you have Larnach batting leadoff, which I like a little bit, and Buxton second. Maybe it hasn't. I thought I saw it, but I'm out on these Tigers. I think the Tigers. I think the ownership comes in higher. I think they're one of the higher owned. And I know you're getting Urena, who we like to pick on, but the Tigers' offense has been really bad. I personally don't like opener games, like to pick on those guys. So I'm out on the Tigers. And then I wouldn't mind some of these Twins, especially if Larnach's up there at the front of the lineup. Don't hate that. So, yeah, I'm out on the Tigers. Interested to hear your take.
Yeah, I think Urena, I don't know if he's going to come in. I think he's scheduled to come in. He is just absolutely abysmal. This Pearson old dude just doesn't do anything. He allows a ton of hard contact. The Tigers are one of my top stacks on the board. And then you look at this Twins bullpen, and the Twins bullpen is just bad. They're not good. And you look at their bullpen usage over the last 3 days, 41, 32. They used 5 bullpen arms yesterday. I think this is a spot where they're just the Tigers are going to do their thing. Nobody's going to play the Tigers. I'll take my chances here. Colt Keith, Kerry Carpenter, Perez, Riley Green, McKinstry, Adden, Glaber, and Torkelson. I love them 1 through 9. Baez would be my least favorite. I'm just not a Javi Baez fan in general. He had a stint earlier this year where he was peak Barry Bonds, and then he fell back off to his normal self, swing and miss overall. But 1 through 9 for me on the Tigers, one of my top stacks on the board. Twins bullpen is taxed. They have not been good over the last month. I'll take my chances here. I like the Detroit side of this game quite a bit. Twins side, it would just be the lefties for me. Let me look at their confirmed lineup here because we do not have it updated. Let me just refresh real quick. It had just come out. Larnach, I think, is a good play. Cody Clemens, Matt Wallner, Keishel. Those are kind of the guys I would look at there. Just the top half, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Adam Buxton, you don't have to worry about ownership. I would just stack them up 1 through 5, the top half there for the Twins side of things. You look at the Tigers bullpen, not very good either. Next game on the slate, we're going to Busch Stadium. Hot and humid in this one. Not a great ballpark in general for hitting, but temperatures are going to be in the 90s. It's going to be very humid here, and you look at Palante, he's been a ground ball pitcher, but you look at the last month, his ground balls have gone from 70% down to mid 40s. He's allowed a ton of power to lefties. You have one of the best teams in baseball against right-handed pitching in general. Cardinals bullpen is good behind Palante. There's some slight concern there. However, I still think the Yankees are one of the best pivots on the slate off of the D-backs, which we'll talk about next game. I think the Yankees are pretty interesting here. Full 9 inning at-bats, 90-plus degrees here in Busch Stadium, hot and humid. Grisham, Bellinger, Rice, Chisholm, McMahon, and then obviously you got Stanton and Judge, who are on another level. Talk to me.
Yeah, the Yankees they're just so irritating to stack. They just hit so many bombs, but they rarely do much else. But tonight, you said it, they couldn't have a better spot. You see Palante, 11% strikeout rate. Aaron Judge, if you're stacking the Yankees, to me, I think Aaron Judge should be squarely in play tonight, right? I think you should center your stacks around him. So I like the Yankee stacks. I'm not stacking against Hill, but I do like Alec Burleson batting third. I talked about it earlier, how he struggles against lefties, striking out lefties right around, I think it's right 15, 16, 17% in 2 starts. So limited sample. But Burleson, you talked about the weather. Give me him batting third tonight. I really like him against Hill as a one-off.
Yeah, you only want lefties against Luis Hill. He does have good strikeout stuff. He does get wild. He does have walk concerns here. I think Burleson and Gorman are the 2 best plays from the Cardinals side of things. Any of the lefties, I'm out on all of the righties here. I just don't really want to play Luis Hill with his 3rd start with the walk concerns that he can have. That's kind of the reason there. And you look at this lineup, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lefties in there, which I don't love either. So for me, lefties for the Cardinals, lefties for the Yankees, but really 1 through 9 for me for the Yankee side. I think the Yankees are one of the better spots on the slate. Next game, Rockies, D-backs, Coors Field. Tanner Gordon has no business starting for a Major League roster. He is starting for the Rockies because they are not a Major League roster. They are a minor league roster. Brandon Pfaadt has been decent, but I don't think he's very good in general. You mainly want lefties against him. The only issue is Rockies just have no lefties. Mickey Moniak, I think, is a really interesting one-off candidate at 4K, batting second. Outside of that, not much interest for me on the Rockies, despite their 5 implied run total. However, the D-backs, I mean, not much more to say. Gordon sucks. The bullpen sucks. The only issue is their ownership. I mean, you saw the dry run, 96% of stacks in 150 builds where D-backs stacks because, again, you have all the cheap spend-down guys. So you can afford Perdomo at 5'6". You can afford Marte at 6'4". You can afford Carroll at 6'6". And then you got cheap guys in the back half, guys like Blaze Alexander, who has some power. Alec Thomas, if he cracks the lineup in there. I mean, not much more to say for the D-backs. They're all great plays. How you play them, what are you going to do to be different here? What's your take here?
Yeah, I think in GPPs, like you fade them, right? Like if you're playing like 10 teams, you may have them in 3, where most people have them in 6 and 7. I think that's the preferred route for me. Is to be lower than the field. You definitely want to have a few stacks of them. I'm playing 12 teams tonight over on FanDuel, I think, and I'll probably have right around 3. So about 25% for me. They'll come in much higher owned than that, so I will be lower than the field. And then this Rockies team, I think people try to get cute and stack this Rockies team. To me, it's tough. They're just so bad, Nades, even at home. Can they go out and score 10-plus runs? Yeah, but it's so few and far between. We've seen it time and time again. I'm out on these Rockies. Interested to hear where you are with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's Moniak or pass for me on the Rockies side of things. D-backs bullpen is not very good. I will say that bottom 5 in the league over the last month. So there is some advantages there, but I think Brandon Pfaadt can do enough to go 6 innings in this game and limit it. And then you get the quote unquote better arms coming out of that pen there. Decent. Obviously it's a good place to hit. It's Coors Field, 80 degrees, wind blown out here. All the things that are making the D-backs chalk are the same park conditions that the Rockies get a hit in there. So things could always go crazy. But I'm much more, if I had to pick a side, it'd definitely be the D-backs, even at their ownership. But again, in tournaments, I'm definitely going underweight on this D-backs side of the D-back stacks in general. Next game on the slate, we go from one good ballpark to another here. We're going to Sacktown. Got the A's. We got the Angels here. This is the best boost on the slate overall from a home run perspective, according to our friends at Ballpark Pal. Temperatures in the mid-80s the entire duration of this game. It's going to start in the 90s. 14-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to left field the entire duration of this game here. We know this park yields a lot of home runs. We know Kikuchi struggles with fly ball and power to righties. You got Brent Rooker on the slate. You got Shea Langeliers. You got Darryl Hernandez, who I think is a really, really interesting play at shortstop at 3,200. You got this Willie M dude at catcher. If you don't want to play 5,700, he's got a lot of power. I think this game is pretty interesting. We talked about Kikuchi. We talked about Perkins. They're both boom bust options on the slate, I think. You can definitely pull some power against Perkins, in my opinion. Guys like Mike Trout, Taylor Ward, the power hunting against a guy that does have strikeout upside with this Angels team. It's been the story all year. I mean, the Angels are boom bust. They strike out a lot, but they also have a ton of power in this lineup. As you see, their ISOs on the slate, good hitting weather. Jack Perkins was one of my favorite pitchers on the slate, but it's a lot of favorite pitcher. It's a lot of everybody's favorite pitcher on the slate. Break this game down. Really good hitting weather here. Two bad bullpens as well behind both of these starters.
Yeah. So for me, I'm with you. It's like I'm higher on Perkins than maybe most. And this Angels team does strike out in droves. I really like Perkins' stuff, even at home. So I'm going to pass on the Angels. And then it's bombs away from me on the Athletics. The chat's talked about it a lot tonight. I think someone earlier said Rooker's going yard, Langeliers is going yard. They've hit left-handed pitching really well over the last 30 days. I don't even mind Kurtz, even though Kurtz struggles against lefties, as you can see there. If I'm stacking the Athletics, I don't think that Kikuchi's going to be there that long anyway. So give me really 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5. Colby Thomas at 2,300. He could get 2 or 3 ABs against the lefty for certain. You said that Hernandez and MacGyver down there. I don't love them, but wouldn't throw them out because I don't mind stacking the catcher in my 5-man stacks.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hernandez has been one of the better hitters on this team against lefties. Colby Thomas as well, with a lot of fly balls, a lot of power there. Langeliers, Kurtz, Mackler, Rooker. I mean, this whole team, if I was picking a side to stack, it'd definitely be the A's side in general over the Angels side. I will say, though, Perkins has been reverse splitsy in his career from what the numbers suggest there. Yeah, he does have strikeout stuff. And this Angels team does strike out a lot, but he also gives up power to the right side, and the Angels' best hitters are from the right side of the plate there. So it's an interesting spot. I think this is one that I think you can easily be over the field on Perkins and over the field on the Angels stacks here in MME. I know that's the cop-out way of saying it, but it's just the nature of the slate. It's just the nature. I mean, the dude is 5,900 for a reason, and I'm just trying to break it down the best I can there. So for me, I like Perkins a ton. I think the Angels are pretty interesting in tournaments in general, because I do think Perkins also gets steamed up more leading up to lock as well. Next game on the slate, Friday night, Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw on the mound, Randy Vasquez. Talk about Randy Vasquez. He gets 0 swing and misses. Somehow he continues to trot out there for the Padres and make starts because the dude's a magician somehow. Doesn't strike anybody out, but just never really gets blown up too much. Lefties are what you want against him. Freddie Freeman, Ohtani, Max Muncy. If he decides to play tonight, he got scratched the other night. That was very tilting for me. Conforto, Freeland, if he's in there. I think the lefties are pretty interesting. Padres, really good bullpen behind Vasquez, which does hurt the stack in general a little bit. Dodgers, going to be low owned. Decent spot to hit here at home against not great starting pitcher. Padres, for the BVP guys, Machado and Tatis, you must lock them in if you're a BVP truther because they have murdered Kershaw in their careers. But outside of that, I'm not too interested in the Padres here overall. What's your take here?
Yeah, no, definitely nothing for me. Passing on this game. I think the Padres overtook the Dodgers. They may leapfrog them again, but NL West showdown. We got the Padres arms rested. Arguably the best bullpen out there. Vasquez just needs to get him, 5, and then it's game over with Mason Miller and the other cats they have back there. So I'm out on this game when it comes to bats. Certainly could do an Ohtani one-off if you wanted to do that, or a Freeman one-off, but I'm not stacking either one of these sides up. When is the last time Tatis hit a homer too? It has to be like 17 months or something crazy. I don't think he's hit a homer in forever.
17 months. I don't know. I mean, there's a good chance for all the people out there. He's 7 for 23 with 4 home runs for what it's worth there. And Machado is 13 for 42 with 4 home runs there. So naturally,
but he hasn't hit a homer since when?
I don't know. I don't track when the last time these guys are hitting home runs, unfortunately. So overall, Padres, one of the most rested bullpens. I mean, you look at it. Not one of their pitchers has thrown over 20 pitches in the last 3 days. They're very, very rested. Best bullpen in baseball when they're healthy and rested. Much less interest in the Dodgers than I normally would. The lefties, like I said, if you want to pick off a mini stack, I'm not 5-stacking the Dodgers on the slate. Takes us to the last game on the slate. Shitty ballpark here. Joe Boyle, one of the more popular arms on the slates. 5,400 is just too cheap for him against the strikeout-happy Giants team. Landon Roop, I would like him a ton if he was stretched out. He's unfortunately just not going to be stretched out. So that kind of takes him out of the pool for me at 7,600. Doesn't really make me like the Rays much at all. I will say Brandon Lowe has been murdering baseballs, so him at a second base position at 4,600 I think is fine. Outside of that, I'm not playing anyone in this game from a hitting perspective.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I like Landon Roop a little bit just because I do, and I don't like these Rays. But Boyle's decent, and we're not stacking in this ballpark, Nades.
Yeah, I just I think it's not a good spot for offense in this one. So that's all 12 games. We talked hitting. We talked pitching. Again, pitching pretty weak in general. I kind of concluded on these 7 arms: Valdez, Kikuchi, Bassett, Cantillo, Minaya, Waldrep, Perkins, and Boyle. I know you had some different guys in there as well, but why don't you give the people your favorite overall pitcher play on the slate, your favorite secondary arm, or your favorite pairing in general for DraftKings, your favorite stack, a sneaky stack, and then a home run call for the people before we get out of here.
Ham's not that smart. I can't keep up with all that. But Framber Valdez, great play. Chris Bassett, a great play. Perkins from Oakland. Those are the 3 pitchers you need to be playing tonight. The best stack on the board is who is the best stack on the board? I mean, not counting whatchamacallits. Houston's the best stack on the board. Miami is the best sneaky stack on the board. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else I like. And then the Athletics a little bit as well.
And a home run call. You said it was a lock, right? There's a couple guarantees in life: death, taxes, and apparently this home run call. Go ahead and give the people.
This is a guarantee. We're going to bet it too, and we're going to do a giveaway when they both hit, because I'm going to bet it. It's going to be a Randy Arozarena bomb and a Cal Raleigh bomb. I'm not saying they're going back to back. I'm just saying they're both hitting a home run tonight. Where's Arozarena? Is he batting leadoff? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh baby doll. What if we go back to back right out the gate? Ooh, yeah. Arozarena and Cal Raleigh. Those are guarantees. Those are, if you bet them both, one of the two is definitely hitting a home run, guaranteed.
All right, there you go. Bet them both, and I'll bet Sean Manaea to strike them both out at least.
That's fine.
So there you go.
2 for 8 with 6 strikeouts, perfect.
No, good breakdown there. My pitcher takes very similar to you. Framber Valdez is my favorite. I like Bassett a lot. I'm going to go Sean Manaea, his tournament option there against your home run calls. And then I'll throw Hurston Waldrep in there too. I think he's an interesting play in that mid-tier. Obviously, Perkins and Boyle are good plays. We talked about them a ton, but trying to get a little bit different than what everybody else is going to play there. For me, offense, my favorite stack on the board is going to be the Boston Red Sox here at home against Sandy Alcantara. I think they might steal 6 bases in this one, hit 3 home runs. Jaron Duran, I like a ton in this spot. He might steal 2 bases and hit a home run. So keep that on the back of your radar there. I like the Red Sox a ton. My second favorite offense on the slate is going to be the Detroit Tigers. I like them a ton. Twins bullpen's not good. I mean, if Jose Urena gets in there, I mean, that dude can go to Uranus because he is just absolutely trash. Tigers are going to crush. And then my home run call here, talked about Jaron Duran already, but I'm going to go to Sacktown. I'm going to go to the A's. I'm going to go to Daryl Hernai's 3,200 shortstop. Going to take Kikuchi deep in that weather, in that ballpark. Nobody's going to play him. I think he's a really interesting play there. And then throw in Duran if you want to as well. That's going to do it. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton. 12 games on the docket. Good luck to everybody in your live finals for baseball there. NFL shortly, right around the corner coming up. Look no further than ShipItNation.com. The early bird package, you missed the boat on that, but it is $449 still. Still gets you access into a $78,200 free roll, courtesy of our guy Sheets up in that prize pool. That's at minimum. Winners are playing for the top 50 golden ShipIts. There's a video right here on this YouTube channel that if you put it on 10 or double speed, you can play it in 10 minutes, I believe Tambo said. It explains the entire golden ShipIt contest there, our free roll contest that we're running for the entire NFL season. That's going to do it. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. For Ham, I'm Nades. Good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see the ShipIt Nation logos at the top. We're out here. Peace.